So when I come to my News ELA article, you're going to notice that I have highlighted some things that I found helpful to understand the issues resulting from climate change. So obviously my headings really help here, tell me what the issue is, and now I'm just going to highlight some information throughout here. So this talks about how sea levels are going to rise with climate change. This is going to cause beaches to erode, more flooding, and now that means that people who live on the coast, their homes, their businesses, etc., are in danger, and they won't be able to stay there. Right? I'm going to take this idea, and I'm going to either direct quote. But remember, if I direct quote, I got to set it up correctly. A transition word, like for example, first of all, that's most importantly. I'm going to give some context, right? Scientists believe that it is, I'm trying to think of what word I would say, definitely going to cause issues. Quote, if the ocean's atmosphere continue to warm, sea levels likely to rise 2 to 5 feet in the next century, and then I'll be done, right? You can also paraphrase this, because remember, if you go to direct quote, you can only do one direct quote for your entire paragraph. Your other evidence statement needs to be paraphrased. So I am going to either paraphrase this, and then when I go to cite it, right, I have to give my author. If I had just one person as my author's last name would be the citation. Since this is a group, I would use the entire thing, Environmental Protection Agency. Now, if I'm pulling information from this NASA website that had no author, right, I don't have an author to use for my citation. So instead, I would use the title in quotation marks as my citation. Okay, so the effects of climate change, put it in quotation marks to show that it's the article title. Okay, so I'm going to put that into my evidence statement. And then my explanation one, at least 2 sentences, is going to say how my utopia will solve this issue. And here I want you to be creative. So you could be very realistic with how you would solve climate change, that you would, maybe put a wall up around these places so that it doesn't have to deal with this issue, that as the sea level rises, that wall will act as a barrier and not impact the people living on the coast. You could talk about moving people inland so you don't even have to worry about coastal issues. Or maybe you're going to be super creative and you're literally going to take your society and put it into a bubble. And in that bubble, you're going to control the climate for the entire society. And in that way, you can make sure climate change is no longer a thing, right? However creative you are, however realistic you are, you need 2 sentences explaining how the utopia will solve that issue. And again, remember, you're not saying my utopia, I will solve this by. There's no me, no my, no I, none of those words. Okay. Now you basically repeat this process. Now you give me a second problem that comes from your issue with your MLA citation. So in News ELA, I went to the next section and I found where it's talking about how hurricane wind speeds and rainfall rates are going to increase. So this is going to cause issues for coastal homes, infrastructure, more flooding, storm surges will be higher. I have a lot here about how much more intense these storms will be along the coast. So again, this is straight from my article. I will put it into evidence 2. I'm going to cite it the same way I did my evidence 1. And then explanation 2, again, how will the utopia solve for this issue? So how am I going to reduce the severity of these storms and the intensity of them? Again, be as creative as you'd like. 2 sentences minimum for that, and avoid the words I, me, my, your, that sort of thing. Your link, remember, can either just summarize that entire paragraph, so you can state how the utopia is going to overall control for climate change, or you can transition into the next paragraph. If you want to do that, that's fine, but you have to peek down then to see what Peel's paragraph 2 is about, so you know how to transition. Do not forget to check for formal academic style. You have a lot of things here that you need to check. This is nothing new. We've done it all year. You need to go through and really check. You proofread, do your spell check, have someone else read through it, and then fix all your style elements that you need to. Make sure you're using transitions. You have a transition sheet to use. And then once you're done, you're going to take your final copy and either put it in your slideshow, your Prezi, on your poster, however you want to do for your final copy. You are only doing Peel's paragraph 1 today, and then you're done. Thanks, guys.